Hello and welcome to Incorruptible Mass. Our mission here is to help us all transform state politics. Because we know that we could have a state legislature that truly represents the needs of the 7 million fantastic people who live here with us in this beautiful state. And today we are going to close out the year 2025. We are going to talk a little bit about what happened this year. We're going to then move into talking about 2026. We'll cover the ballot measures that are going to be on the ballot, or that we think are likely to be on the ballot. And then we will maybe do some predictions. Pardon me for saying, but I think we have some pretty lame predictions for 2020. Some humorous predictions.
No, they're the best predictions, and you should stick around to hear all of them.
You should definitely stick around to hear all of our predictions.
The hottest of hot takes.
Fabulous. And before we do any of that, I will have my super amazing co-hosts introduce themselves. Oh, should we just introduce each other? That'd be hilarious.
I feel like we should do some prep before we do that. Maybe that's
next time. Okay, I'm gonna call on you, Jordan.
Travers, and I have many years' experience in politics and policy, and yes, and I live in Worcester.
Amazing. Jonathan Cohn.
Jonathan Cohn, he, him, his. I live in the South End in Boston, and I've been active on progressive issue and electoral campaigns for a little over a decade.
And I'm Anna Callahan, she, her, coming at you from Medford, where I am a city councilor. And I, before being city councilor, did a lot of work traveling around the country, training people in local electoral politics. So today we're talking about 2025. Let's start in on what happened this year. And I will give the super hot take that will be a total surprise to everyone who has ever listened to this podcast. The state legislature did pretty much nothing important. On to you, Jonathan.
After I actually will do a rundown of that, I was thinking before when we were talking about hot takes that it's like, baby, it's cold outside, so join us for the hot takes. Well, that's actually the day that we're recording is actually kind of warm outside, unseasonably so.
Yeah. Do you remember the year that I sang on camera? Do you remember that one?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Could happen again.
That would be fantastic.
Say things like, baby, it's
Stay
cold outside.
tuned to find out. Okay, so as there's noticed, this is maybe a few things happened, and I'll update us mid-episode when I look to see if anything has happened since this weekend when I last updated these numbers. But in terms of in these 12 years of 2025, when the Massachusetts legislature, when we saw so many things in DC fall apart with the Trump administration, Elon Musk, Stephen Miller, J.D. Vance, congressional Republicans, take an axe to so many things that we care about and destroy any real progress made under the Biden administration, and then like 50 years of civil rights progress, 100 years of so they axe to everything. Our legislature was largely hard at work doing little. In the span of this time,
hard at work, Jonathan.
Hard at work doing little, and doing nothing takes work. Have you ever tried doing nothing? It's so time consuming. That there are 79 bills signed into law. Again, this is as of this past weekend. A majority of them were home rule petitions, and they're not even the interesting, exciting home rule petitions like rent control or ranked choice voting or a transfer fee, but largely changing a board of selectmen to a select board type of thing. That why are you voting? Why does this need to be something the legislature cares about? Yeah. So majority of them, 42 out of 79. 17 of them were personnel matters about one person or other. So a sick leave bank, that kind of administrative thing for our state employees, predominantly. 8 of them were budgets or supplemental budgets that legally needed to pass. They often had good things. Shout out to the Fair Share Amendment that is helping the Massachusetts budget stay afloat. But there are things that need to pass. 3 awareness days, I believe 2 for diseases, maybe all 3 for diseases. No shade on the diseases.
But shade on awareness days as legislature, come on.
I'm just fascinated by the process behind them.
Yeah.
That's somebody's main cause, having a holiday that no one will know happens. Two bond
or the 200 legislators, that is what they are doing with their time.
Exactly. And then 6 other standalone bills. So one of them was extending hybrid meeting access for local bodies, library, city councils, town meeting, etc. With the problem being they won't make it permanent. The legislature, it was a great it was one of the good things that came out of like reforms from COVID, of recognizing that hybrid meeting access helps improve participation, and they refused to just make it a permanent change and keep doing temporary patches. They set the primary date for next year as September 1st, which is an attack on cities or renters in general, given how often September 1st is moving day. And I, for one, am not looking forward to like knocking on a door where I see a moving van outside. I'm like on every.
Someone who ran in a race where September 1st was the primary, it sucks.
Yes, it is the worst. One good thing about strengthening our state shield law for reproductive and gender affirming care was a bill, basically improving a bill that tightening up a bill that they passed with last session, expanding protections against assault and battery of transit workers. I can't speak to what the existing law is because it's illegal to attack people.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if there was like a specific animating incident on that front. They lowered the cost of rental cars. And
critical stuff.
Our national nightmare.
Those 200 people probably use rental cars.
Yeah, right.
Right?
That's true.
Yeah.
And it was like something, the one thing I believe when I looked this up, it was something that like Massachusetts was an outlier in not having done already.
Of course. Even
then,
the little things they do are behind.
And then one bill around like improving data collection around like vital statistics, so like birth info, death info, etc. But for like all 12 months or 11 and a half months, if you will, those are the only things that have been signed into law. There are some decent things in the budget, like shout out to the banning of brokers' fees or the money that they dedicated to kind of legal aid for immigrants facing deportation, which were real wins. But they are through the budget that needs to pass, rather than standalone legislation. And I think the fact that so little standalone legislation passed speaks to the fact that the legislature is increasingly unable to pass standalone. Like the chambers are not able together. They each passed some other bills, some of them good, some of them I've already forgotten about, on their own. Like I'll shout out to the Senate doing a data privacy bill, as well as passing a book to rein in politically motivated book bans. But they should be
law, right? They're not law because they're not.
Exactly, they're not law yet. So I can't like.
So
as Brandy once sang, almost doesn't count.
I was just gonna turn it over to Jordan and ask you, Jordan, like, please let us know what are the things that they should have been passing but didn't pass.
I want to start with just a reminder that they could pass something today. There is actually no requirement that they wait until July of an even numbered year to pass things.
Yeah.
Most legislature see a problem and then pass it.
That's the solution.
Right? Like, it's like, I just wanted to say, like, there's nothing about this that makes.
And can we remind, because people who didn't listen to that episode that we talked in depth about this, like 18 episodes ago or whatever it was,
right?
That our state legislature has a strict schedule. So they have a 2-year schedule where they first introduce bills. And if you don't introduce your bill during that period of time, the first couple of months, you're screwed. Your bill is not getting covered in 2 years.
Yeah.
And then they have hearings and things, and that is a process. And so when Jordan says there's no reason why it has to be in July of even numbered years, is because like that is the only time of year that these bills have made it to the point where they could potentially be passed, which is dumb because like if something comes up at a different time, why can't it be considered and then passed?
Yeah. And they could just do what they do when they want to. There is some rules about why they have to, like, it has to be something that gets proposed, but they end around that rule all the time by just gutting a bill that's not going to go anywhere and adding language that they want to pass it. So it's not like they couldn't end around some of these rules to do things that matter to people. but they just won't. And you know, I'm reminded of like, so I always like, we're in a time of Trump, and people are literally being snatched from our streets, like one of the most famous cases of a human being being snatched off the street by unarmed people, and our legislature has done nothing to push back on that. There is a concentration camp in our state, a real concentration camp in our state.
Press conferences.
Sternly worded
There's
letter.
a real concentration camp in our state that was illegally turned into a place of holding people. That is not meant to hold people. That when legislators have gone inside, have said it is inhumane. People don't have places to go to the bathroom. They don't have places to sleep. They're not getting fed. That is the definition of a concentration camp, right? In Massachusetts, the legislature could act to say, this is illegal. You cannot do this here. We have regulations for when you hold people. We have, you know, rules and human rights. Like, we can do
the
things.
state's own rules to ice detention.
Exactly. The legislature has done nothing that it has the power to do to oversight a real concentration camp in our state. It has done nothing to say that we should, you know, there's a good bill about trying to make it harder for ICE to work in Massachusetts. It has not done anything on that. You know, we have seen children literally stolen from our streets and taken to God knows where, only to a few being returned, but most of them not. And the legislature, again, has not done anything to act. I'm reminded of the simplest thing, just like, this is my favorite example. California, when there was talk of Trump taking away people's C3, their 501c3 status, their nonprofit status, through the IRS, if he didn't politically agree with them, California immediately passed a law that said that you don't need an IRS number. You can get designated a 501c3 through the state. And they worked it out so that it would be legal. It took them no time to do that. Nobody I'm aware of has actually had their C3 status taken away. So it's not even something that happened and they're reacting to it. They are preemptively reacting to Trump making threats by fixing the problem. And we can't even react to things that have already happened in the first Trump administration, let alone happening now.
God.
They've done nothing to take on Trump. It's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
It is. I feel like that's such a good point of one of the need to be proactive on things rather than wait and to be like until something gets bad enough, but then also at the same time not acknowledging when things are really bad and you should be acting. The combination of those I always find jarring.
Yeah.
It's like when it comes to the back when we had the during the shutdown when the Trump administration illegally decided not to use SNAP funds to like disperse SNAP funds. And the legislature and the governor were like, "Oh no, we don't want to use the rainy day fund." And Governor Healy's take was, "Let me just ask some like rich people to donate a little bit more money." I'm like, we have a flush rainy day fund. That's kind of the definition of that. It's not going to tax the rainy day fund that much, and there's just like an unwillingness.
And I want to comment that, like, you know, we live in a state that is basically incapable, the state legislature is incapable of passing the things that we want, the things that are in the Democratic Party platform, Medicare for all, you know, like same-day registration, like, you know, support and educational support for LGBTQ youth, like all these things that do, and we could go on and on and on, and we have in other episodes. Like, these are all the things that they can't pass. And I feel like voters and our populace generally, that's like the frog in hot water, in water, right? The frog in the water that gets slowly warmer and warmer. Like, we're just so used to it that we don't think. But the reason Jordan is talking about is so stark is because these are new emergencies. Like, there are new things happening. This is like somebody's pouring boiling water on us right now, and it's new, and they're doing nothing. They're doing nothing at all. So I can't say we're surprised, but you know, it just is. It should be shocking. I love what Bernie Sanders says when he says you should never lose your sense of outrage. Like, we should be outraged. Like, we should be outraged at the fact that for, you know, decades and decades they have crushed the efforts to get Medicare for all. They crushed the efforts to get public financing of elections. They have over and over crushed all of these movements. But we should newly be outraged when the Trump administration is doing these horrible outrages and our state reps in a supposedly progressive state are completely incapable of doing anything to protect us.
I just want to say it's not.
Yep.
Oh, I'll just say really quickly. It's also it's not even that progressive. Democrats across the Democratic, left, liberal to progressive, want people to take on Trump. We're in a super blue state that doesn't like Trump. It would be to your benefit if you just cared about re-electing Democrats.
Yep.
These are easy wins. It's easy wins, easy things to do. Just would not take. You could pass them in an afternoon, and people would be happy, and it would cause you no harm to do these easy things. But they wrap so tight in authoritarianism that, like all authoritarians, it doesn't matter that they hurt themselves.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna move us, unless Jonathan, you have one last comment.
Oh, I can just go one. I can just do a quick update. If you want to know that they're now actually at 87 bills, shout out to them. It is still 3 awareness days. It is still two bond authorizations. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 budgets and supplemental budgets. It is. How many home rule petitions do we have now? The magic number is 49 home rule petitions.
Wow.
Shout out to the latest one of an act authorizing the town of Somerset to grant an additional license for the sale of wine and malt beverages not to be drunk on the premises.
Oh my God. So by the way, I will say, because I have been keeping track. So there are 8 more bills and 7 of them are home rule petitions.
Yes. I would really I can imagine a great video montage that's showing all of these things on the laws page to Vitamin C's Friends Forever. Do you guys remember that song? It's as we go on, we remember all the times we had together, and then just have that while it's showing all of these exciting bills passed, like the one I just said. And authorizing the continued employment of Stephen A. Hillinger, a firefighter in the town of Lancaster.
Wow. What on earth are these 200 well-paid legislators doing, thinking about that one guy in one town, as a firefighter? Why can't the town just...
why can't they just do it? Does the legislature need to be involved?
Yes.
It's just fascinating where we really need them. They're not stepping up, but they really want to meddle with cities and towns' abilities to pass their own laws, rather than making it easier for cities and towns to be proactive when they want to be proactive and do basic administrative work. But the thing is really just basic administrative work.
What they're doing, what they're spending their time doing is not just nothing. What it takes them so much time to do is to make everyone else unable to do anything as well.
Yeah.
I mean, the reason for that is that they don't, if you're a state rep, you don't actually have any control. You only vote with the way the speaker tells you to vote. So the one place that you can exercise power, and the one place that you can actually have a say, and the one place that you can ensure that no one can run against you, is by being the sole person who has oversight over the run-ins of your towns. So that sort of fiefdom, that sort of authoritarianism at the what the speaker does, that trickles down to our state reps, where they then have their own fiefdoms and their own authoritarian ways. And that's why they like it, because they don't have control over anything else. They don't have they don't get consulted on legislation. They don't do regular committees where they're marking up bills and considering things that they get told how to vote in committee. They get told how to vote in the legislature. So, I'd say the one positive thing that if I were going to be like, what's something you're proud the Massachusetts legislature did this year? I would say the thing I'm proud of is that after corporations told our speaker how to create a bill to make them all richer and make us poorer by stealing more money from us, a bunch of the state reps said, maybe we shouldn't roll back our climate things and make corporations richer by stealing from us. Maybe we shouldn't just do what the energy lab, the energy lottery literally wrote, to roll back, to make themselves richer and roll back climate things. Maybe we shouldn't do that. And I will say the legislature did internally say, we're not comfortable doing this. So
Wow.
shout out to our legislature for successfully, again, that was a lot of work, to Jonathan's point, doing
Yeah.
nothing in this
Uh,
case.
And it was
After,
like, and actually,
after our super majority Democratic leadership took a bill written by corporate lobbyists to roll back climate change.
it is the kind of thing that's kind of funny to me when I was like, wow, this is the one of the few times I'm actually happy the legislature didn't do something.
Yeah.
But it was actually, and it took a lot of people like emailing, calling, yelling at their state reps to get them to realize how they'd be in deep water.
Just calling them to say, for God's sake,
Climate
please
change.
keep doing nothing.
Right? Like we want them to not cause harm.
Totally.
We want them to actively seek to do more.
All right.
Let's
Yeah.
talk ballot initiatives.
What'd you say?
Let's talk ballot.
Thank you. I was just gonna say we got to move to the ballot initiative. So I think Jonathan, you're gonna give us I don't know if you guys want to split the rundown. If Jonathan, you want to give the rundown, and then we can all comment. But
What works best?
Jonathan should give the rundown.
Okay. I'll do a rundown of them. Okay, so the one question that is guaranteed to be on the ballot next year is around a referendum on the gun safety omnibus bill passed in the legislature last session, because goal, the state affiliate of the NRA, collected signatures to put it on the ballot. That then is a people's vote. So that means you vote yes to keep it, you vote no to repeal it. So that is a yes campaign. On housing policy, there is the rent control ballot question that we have talked about on this show before. That would be kind of capping rents, the rent statewide, as well as a question to eliminate minimum lot sizes. If you're in the burbs, there can often be like 1 acre, 2 acre, maybe even 3 acre requirements for a single property. In the space of democracy, electoral reform, voting systems, there is a question to expand the public records law to include the governor and the legislature, because we are the only state where that allows all three branches of state government to claim full exemption from the public records law.
I'm sorry, I gotta jump in there. I mean, that would be, in my opinion, one of the only things that could actually make some change in our state legislature.
And it's something that I think is an important follow. Although its origin was separate from it, it is an important follow-up to the audit question, because the audit obviously has not happened because the legislature refuses to comply. But that makes it so that they have to turn over things publicly.
Yep.
Because rather than that, there is the stipend reform question, which is about reforming the hierarchical pay structure of the legislature, where chair, vice chairs get effectively loyalty pay.
Yep.
And for sometimes work that they're not even doing.
I just want to say about that one, really, again, a reminder that that's in the Constitution of our state, and they're just not following it.
Yep.
Currently. It's constitutionally mandated their pay, and that they cannot do this system, but they have end around it by creating this stipend around the constitutional amendment. And as far as I'm concerned, it's a clear violation of the Constitution, but they don't care.
It's also something that's like...
Can I ask a question about this ballot measure? Would this ballot measure write into law that they are allowed to do this, and therefore we would no longer be able to sue them for being outside the Constitution, unconstitutional according to the Constitution of Massachusetts?
Sort of.
Although it's not, if you're arguing that something is constitutional, this isn't a constitutional amendment. So
right.
True.
You could still argue its constitutionality, but it does sort of play into the idea that the system itself is. Yeah. If you want to come to, I feel like it's another podcast where we can external debate the internal conversation we had about it.
Totally.
But I think that would be a great idea to just even have like an episode devoted to that question itself.
Sure.
There's the one to do what are often called jungle primaries, that California style of election of everybody runs on the same ballot, 2 people advance. The one to partially recriminalize marijuana. Just one that'd be utterly destructive to the state budget of a 20% reduction in the state income tax. As well as another corporate-backed one to change what's called 62F, if people are familiar, back in 2022, that got a lot of attention. It's known as the tax cut law, passed back in the 80s. And basically corporate lobby wants to change it to make it easier to hit that which when that limit through its calculations get hit, the state loses money. So basically, for both of these questions, at a time where we're going to lose a lot of federal dollars next year, our big businesses and rich people want us to lose more. There's one about dedicating money from the outdoor recreation excise tax to kind of various types of like nature conservation and related programs. I forgot when I was talking about elections, election day registration from Secretary Bill Godwin's question on allowing people to register to vote on election day. And then there is one from SAIU 888 about allowing public defenders to unionize. So these are all questions that, so the one, as I noted, is guaranteed to be on the ballot next year. And then the other 11 have either claimed or the Secretary of State has confirmed that they have submitted enough signatures to advance to the next round. I will just, as a quick jump back and then handing it over to both of you, when talking about stuff that the legislature did, it was even, I would claim it as a win that the legislature finally passed joint rules and that we are getting public committee votes out of the House and Senate, amongst other changes, even though they need to update their website faster. As an example, that it took the Senate almost a month to post one committee vote recently, which is embarrassing, and you should have a better system. But that was something that advocates had fought for years, so credit where credit's due that they finally adopted that practice.
Yep. I think my primary comment on this entire list of 12, the list of 11, right, is that why is our state legislature not passing some of these things? I mean, some of them we don't like, but like,
yeah,
there are, some of these are not, election day registration.
Yeah, like why does that have to go to the ballot?
Why does that have to go to the ballot? Why aren't they doing it?
Yeah, and I feel like the same way when it comes to the public defenders unionization one. Was like, why aren't they why no? Like why?
Other states did this in the 90s. Right. Yeah, it's just, and the reason it has to happen is because the legislature had a hissy fit. Like they threw a tantrum, like children, over the fact that they were like, you didn't come to us in the right way, in the right time. Like children, like little children. They you and or
I love Jordan's underscoring that, not like large children, to be clear.
Little children. I meant like toddlers. I feel like I can have a more rational conversation with my 12-year-old than I can often legislative leadership, because they act like her toddlers. They want to take their ball and go home, and they're just like, you hurt my feelings. It's just like, how old are you? Like a 12-year-old has more emotional regulation.
Right.
Than a lot of these legislators. It's
also standard practice when you don't want to do something to say, oh, you didn't follow the right process. We want that, but you didn't follow the process. It's like, it's so tired of those excuses.
Yeah. So I think the other piece just is, there's this thing that's happening, which is that as we get more ballot initiatives, which is actually a really hard process. It's not easy to collect all of those signatures. It's really difficult. It's much harder here than in California. The legislature wants to take that away, and it wants to take it away because it's an authoritarian regime, not dissimilar from Trump, and it's distaste for us, regular people, people who want to have a state that works and functions. And yes, it is not as evil. It's not trying to do the same harm. It's basically trying to do nothing for the most part. Unlike Trump, who's trying to make the world a worse place. But it is the same impulse to hate us, who want it to do things and for it to have total control. And we wouldn't Anna's point about those things should just pass. But also the fact that people feel like their only avenue for passing these things is going directly to people. And the impulse isn't, wow, we should take some stock of why all these people are spending $1 million or more to try to go to regular people to have this, because they can't get it through. Rather than taking stock, their impulse is, F you, F all the people, F that democracy thing. We should take away those rights. We should make it like Florida, or Ohio, where Republicans have made it harder to do ballot initiatives. That's their impulse, is to act like Republicans and authoritarians and say, you people should have less rights. Not, all these ballot initiatives are a real call to how broken we are.
100%.
It's just troubling. And, anyway, it's going to be really hard. We're going to have to be like, yes, no, yes, no,
No,
yes, no.
I'm not looking forward to that at all. And it also speaks to the importance of voter education next year, because we have 12 questions. Like, that's a lot for anybody to handle when they see, like, you walk into the ballot, and puts as so much important the work of voter education ahead of time, the creation of voter guides, canvassing, etc., so that people go in knowing what they're voting on.
Yeah, it was funny when
Because
Jordan was like,
when you read
Jordan was like, yes, no. And I was in my thing of like, why aren't they passing these things? And I was looking through, I was like, oh, wait a minute, because that one's bad. That one's bad. Oh, that one's bad. Like, we got to remember that not all of these ballot initiatives are things that we think are good ideas.
And it's always so nice with ballot questions when you have a year where it's like yes on all, or
no on all, which it should.
Or like yes, 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 no, or like no, 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 yes, or something. When like this could be like yes, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, yes, no, no, or something, like some kind of iteration like that. Which is
at least they have a single numbering system, and it's not like random in every district. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Nightmare. All right, gang, we are running a little late today. I am going to turn us over to first of all, before our incredibly exciting predictions, I'm going to remind you all that it's the end of the year. And if you have just a little bit of funding for donations for important causes, we do all know and recognize here that in Massachusetts, we do not have a great progressive media system. And it's important to support folks like us who are getting out real news to you and a very unique viewpoint on things. The people that we bring in for interviews often are really not heard from in other places, and you can get the kind of news here and information and analysis that you don't get in other places. So the link is below. You can donate just a little bit, or you can donate a lot. We welcome all donations. And anything else for you guys to say during this little coffee break here?
Just that we appreciate the people who give. Like, it makes it possible. And I think we're really proud of what we're building. And like, continue to share. Continue to more and more people are like. I talk to people like, oh, I know about that podcast. So like, just continue to share it, continue to talk about it. This is not separate from the work we do to make Massachusetts what it can be. It's actually central. Yeah. Independent media, having conversations with each other, complex conversations about policies that you don't get other places. That's actually core to this work, is that we talk to each other. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
Yeah. I would underscore that we appreciate kind of our loyal listeners, and those who not only listen but share, and those who not only listen and share but also listen, share, and donate.
And on that note, we have some very shocking predictions for the year 2026. I'm going to start with my most shocking prediction, which is that the state legislature ain't going to do jack.
Yeah, I guess I'll go next. That's fine. I have some real predictions. I think Markey wins the Senate race. We had a joke about like which Senate race what we're talking about, but that's like one of my predictions. I think Democrats are going to have a good year at the midterms, but see what Trump does about it, and if we actually have. I think that people think like free and fair means like they'll just stop voting, but actually I worry more about like the ways in which they meddle in such a way that it hurts the ability to have open, like the bomb threats that happened in election things, like putting troops in front of polling locations, like things to intimidate in such a way that you don't have. Like sometimes you can there's lots of ways to screw with elections beyond just that I worry about. But if we have sort of those things that are sort of up, and I think that I think the legislature is coming to its breaking point. I just do not think I don't think you can continue to get 200 people to show up to do nothing. I think they're frustrated. I think voters are frustrated. And I think this sort of authoritarian regime is like Trump's. It eventually it loses its ability to squeeze at some point. So I think the work we're doing, the ballot initiatives, all of the pushes on the legislature the reason they're doing less is because of how much. And so that's my prediction for us.
Great. And we can go around a couple times. Jonathan, why don't you go with some of your predictions?
I'll just do my main top line prediction. As I noted before we were talking, that I think that 2026 as a year will suck, but that there will also be glimmers of hope.
That's pretty laughing because the laugh count.
Love it. I will also say that, and this is not a 2026 prediction exactly, but it has been my understanding for quite a few years that like there is a certain point at which inequality breaks, right? That inequality is too high. Too many people, too many like percent of the population are living unbelievably precarious, deeply stressful, miserable lives. And at some point it breaks. And, historically, it's either going to break because we elect Mussolini or a Hitler. We're kind of in the Mussolini phase right now, or it's going to break because we elect an FDR. Like one of those things is going to happen. And, it can break violently or it can break non-violently. There are many different options, but I do believe that there will come a moment in the relatively near future where, both at the state level and at the national level, we have the opportunity to elect someone like Zoran Mamdani, Bernie Sanders, FDR, someone who will radically reduce inequality, which I look at as kind of a single one parameter that you can go to make simple a very complicated system. And we need to be ready for when that moment comes, because if we're not ready and we haven't built the muscle to make the incredible effort of winning that particular race, then we're going to end up with the other side, the other outcome, which will not be pleasant. It's already not pleasant. And it will not be pleasant when we get there. So that's my other sort of big prediction is like, be ready, people. Run, I don't believe that we run, all these small elections because we're going to we're going to win one and then we'll win two and then we'll win three. I believe we run them because we build the muscle that Jonathan has a lot of these muscles because Jonathan's constantly every single week and he's canvassing somewhere, we build that muscle to be able to make that case, to get people out there to do all of the absolute grunt work necessary to win when we do get that window in time where we win something that truly matters. And I think Zoran was a case exactly like that.
Yeah.
That almost this is the I like to not sound glib and mean this in an actual serious way, but I guess mocking tone about how things will get worse, but they could get better. It's basically there and meant both in that half just way, but also the serious way. The fact that I think that the one thing that I always take hope in is the lack of inevitability in the world, and the fact that things can move. They can change. It has happened in history. Things have moved for the better. They have sometimes moved for the worse. So you need to always be on guard for when things move for the worse, but always be ready to push when you have the opportunities to move for the better.
Jordan, any final words?
Yeah, just I agree. I think there's that's the lesson from the shock doctrine is we need to be ready when things are breaking down. That means there's opportunities. I have had this quote up since I think the Bush administration, because I've sort of been feeling this way for a while, which is just the old world is dying, the new world struggles to be born. Now is a time of monsters. I just think that's we're in a place where it's becoming untenable. The affordability, it's so weird to call it affordability crisis because it's just corporations are stealing from you, and the question is, are you going to do anything? Or are you and I believe that we're going to do something about it because we are constantly this podcast is a working of that muscle. You going out.
We lost Jordan for a sec.
Oh no, I thought I
Oh,
must have that was
His
me.
wise words. Oh no.
It was the big corporation trying to prevent him from talking.
Wait, donate quick, and he'll come back.
But like, hold on, it's like we should do one of the like the the Peter Pan things, like clap your hands and you believe your fairies. Is that if you donate harder, Jordan comes back.
Jordan's internet will get paid for. Just kidding.
It's not back yet. It means that some of our loyal listeners have not donated yet.
Our like secret way of like running one of those NPR things where they just keep like, oh, we can't get money, we can't run our programming until you donate more.
You know, something's glitching. I might not fix until the next 10 recurring donors.
That's right. And Jordan has in fact dropped off completely. His internet has gone out and how long do we milk this, Jonathan?
Until we reach our end of year fundraising goal.
For 2025?
Exactly.
Wait, let me quickly look that up.
Exactly.
I have no idea.
Put a thermometer on the screen to
That's right, exactly.
show how close we are.
All right, well, I know what I will
Even
do.
like a nice, you could do that as like a Christmas tree, and as soon as it reaches the top, the like star and it starts to be lit up.
I like that. Here, you vamp for 10 seconds.
Let's see. That again, thank you to everybody. Yes, you're the bell.
So yes, thank you to everybody. We're going to go ahead and say we reached our donations.
It's funny also because Zoom has enough noise cancellation where like you can't even hear the bell.
Oh man, I just rang a cool bell. Oh, and you guys didn't hear it. Well, oh well, maybe I'll put it in post.
We can beat Zoom's noise cancellation, if only.
You will donate more. All right, gang. We love our listeners. We love our donors. We love all the folks who have been involved in this podcast. We've had so many people who do interviews, get interviewed here. We love all of you. And we wish everyone the best of holidays and a fabulous new year. And we will see you in 2026. Ciao. Hey there. Thanks so much for watching us on YouTube. Please like and subscribe. And it would be amazing if you would also subscribe to us on your favorite podcast player. Just look for Incorruptible Massachusetts wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks so much.